Hi, and welcome to these instructions. Thank you so much for acquiring Pulse. My name is Leandro Vaz, and together with Javier Franco and our working team, we form Magic Pro Ideas. And this time, we present to you this product, Pulse, which is a magic calculator that you can use in your phone and even better on the spectator's phone. In this video, we will show you how to set it up, how to use it, and how to use the NFC tag that comes included with the activation license. As I said, Pulse is a magic calculator, but it's made up from two parts. The magic calculator, that is the one that you will use to make your magic tricks, and then Pulse, that is the app that you will use on your phone to activate and set up all the different modes of effects and magic tricks that it has. For example, one of them is date mode. With date mode, you will be able to force the date, the hour, and the exact minutes that you're in automatically without doing anything. Then on the other side, we have number mode. The number mode, you will be able to force any number that you desire, even if it is decimal or not. And finally, vanish mode. With vanish mode, you will be able to make disappear and reappear numbers and also points and commas from the screen. Now we will learn how to activate them and set them up depending on each case. If you go to setup on the application, the first thing you will find is decimal separator. But what is decimal separator? Well, depending on the region, the country, or the place that you're in, you will probably use points or commas to separate the numbers. So depending on your need, you will activate or not this mode. Next is date mode. Date mode is when you want to force a date or a time inside your calculator. To do that, you have to turn it on, and then you will be able to set up the date format, or if you would like to have the 24 hours time format. That's one of the things that you will be able to set up there. And then something very important is that while you're using this inside the calculator, you might need a few more minutes extra after you make the forcing. It is clear that while you're making the date forcing, you're making a mathematical operation inside the calculator. And when you press result, that's the date that the app will give you. And in that moment, you might need a few more time. And that's something that you can do by selecting the extra time that the app can give you. Next mode is number mode. Try to have in mind that while you're using number mode, you cannot use date mode. So as you turn on one, the other will close. Number mode gives you the possibility to force a number. The only thing that you have to do is to enter the number that you want to force. It doesn't matter if it is decimal separated or not. And finally, vanish mode. By activating this mode inside the magic calculator, you will be able to banish numbers and also points and commas, depending on what you have. And the only thing that you have to do after setting up everything that you want to have is just press save. And once you're out, the app will show that everything has been saved correctly. And that's all. If you go to home into the app, you will find a pen. This pen is a math equation which you will have to keep in mind because it's the way that the magic calculator will recognize you no matter on which device do you log into, if it is yours or from another person. Now, to be able to log into the magic calculator, you will have to memorize an URL address, which is cca.im. It is a short address, so it is easy to memorize. Something else to keep in mind is that if you own an iPhone or if you're performing from somebody else's iPhone, you will always have to use Safari as a browser. And if you're using Android, you will always gonna need Google Chrome. Now we're gonna see how to use the magic calculator inside an iPhone. There are two ways to use the magic calculator. One is from your phone, and the other, way more better, is to use the spectator's phone, because a borrowed object looks like it cannot be rigged. But let's start seeing how you can use the magic calculator from your phone. If you have an iPhone, what you have to do is to press copy URL to clipboard. Once you do that, a special URL will be copied that it includes your pen, so you don't have to make any mathematical equation. Then you will go into Safari, you will paste that URL, and a calculator will open, in which you have to press here and then add to home screen. And we click add. Once you do that, an icon from the Magic Calculator will appear on the home screen, in which, as you log into, you will realize that the AC is first white and then it turns automatically to black. And once it's black, you're ready to use the calculator. Now, if you do have Android, what you had to do is the same. You will press copy URL to clipboard, and as I said before, it's going to use a special URL in which your PIN number is already logged in, so you don't need to make any mathematical equation for the app to recognize you. Then you will go to Google Chrome, and inside there you will paste the URL and you will click go. Once you do that, you will see a calculator which you can start using. But first, you need to press these three little dots and then add to home screen. You will click add, and that will create a direct access that will appear on the last page. That if you open it, you can see the calculator on full screen. And now you're ready to use it. In a few seconds, I will explain you how to log into the calculator on the spectator's phone, as we consider that it is a more effective way to make the effect. But as you have installed on your iPhone or Android the icon of the Magic Calculator, I'm going to explain how to use it. The first thing that we're going to see is how to activate date mode. In this case, I have it already activated inside Course, the application. So I'm going to click into the icon of the calculator, and at first we will see that the AC is white, and a few moments later it will turn to black. To be able to activate the forcing, between the buttons inside the calculator, there is one that is the percentage sign that by pressing it you can look that it changes. It is rather the normal sign, the one with little circles, or if it is dots, it means that it's activated. I'm going to activate it so you can see it, and then I'm going to deactivate it. If the effect is turned off, the calculator works as a normal one. So for example, if I make an equation, let's say 1 plus 5, it will give us 6. But for example, if I turn it on and I make any random mathematical equation, and then I press equal, what it will give us as a result is the month, the date, the year, the hour, and the minutes. So as you can see, this is the way that you can use date mode. If you want to use, let's say for example, the forcing of a number, it should be active on the application. So what I'm going to do is to activate number mode, and I'm going to put any result that I want. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to save it. Once it is saved, the only thing that I need to do is, with the application of the Magic Calculator close, I reopen it, and when I do, it shows us the change that I have already made in the application. So it means that if I activate it and I put, let's say, 12 plus 3 plus 5, and I press equal, it will show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the number that I want to force. And finally, Banish mode. In this case, I have Banish mode active inside the application, and I want to show you, I want you to see that Banish mode is active, and the only thing that I need to do is, by entering inside the application, is to see that there's a plus and minus sign. And if I touch it, you will see that the minus turns up to be up and the plus goes down. So now if I put any number, the only thing that I need to do is to slide my finger over the zone of the numbers from this side to that side like this, and they will start vanishing. If I do this, they disappear, and if I do it the other way around, they will start appearing. But of course, we have to disguise this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make little turns moving from right to left, and it will disappear. See, I move, and when it's okay, I take out my finger. You can even erase commas or points depending on what you have. And of course, if we do it all the way around, they will reappear. And if you turn it off at any time, this will no longer work. You can't make it appear or disappear. This simple way is how we use the calculator. We have already seen how to get into the Magic Calculator on your phone and how to use it too. But something way more interesting is how to use the spectators' phones and make this effect or a series of effects with their phones. So there are two ways to log into the spectators' phones. One is with the NFC that I will explain you in a few moments, or this other way, in which in this case if you're using an iPhone or if you take an iPhone from the spectators, you need to enter Safari. What do you have to do if you don't know how to do it? You need to slide down the screen and write SA and Safari will appear. And if you see it anywhere close, you can use it too. You will open Safari, and in a short moment, with a few tips that we're gonna give you, we will teach you how to do what I'm telling you in front of the eyes of the spectators. Inside the address bar, you will write down the URL, cci.im, and you will press go. Once you've done that, you will press here, add to home screen, and add. Once you've done that, the calculator will be already installed inside the spectator's phone. So there will be an icon, but the AC will remain white. And now when it comes, this unique mathematical equation from you that makes the calculator recognize you. In this case, I'm gonna log mine and I will press equal. And if I done it right, the letter C will change from white to black. But if I do it wrong, it will change from white to red. If it turns red, what you have to do is to press the C letter a few times until it turns back to the AC and re-enter the mathematical equation and press equal. Once you've done that, the calculator will be ready to be used in the spectator's phone. Now we will see how to do it on Android. As you have seen on iPhone, the Magic Calculator and the normal calculator are exactly the same, but on Android it is not. Each model or each device has a different kind of calculator with a different look. So what we have done is to take the look from the latest calculator possible and copy that. So it might happen that when you borrow the spectator's phone, the looks from the calculator and the Magic Calculator may not be the same. And the spectator may notice that it's not the same calculator. So we recommend you that you use another spectator to make the effect. But it's much more likely that the person that gives you his phone doesn't even have a clue of how does his calculator looks like. If you don't have any other choice but to use an Android to perform the effect, you will ask for the Android and you will ask them to unlock it. Then you will go into Google Chrome, and inside Google Chrome you will write this short URL cci.im and you will press go. Once you've done that, the only thing that you need to do that is different from the iPhone calculator is that you only need to press AC and the calculator will automatically go into full screen. Now you need to enter your PIN, that mathematical equation, and as the same as Android, if you put it wrong, the C letter will go from white to red, and if you do it right, the AC or C will change from white to black. I'm going to enter mine, and I will press equal, and so it turns the C from white to black, and that means that I'm ready to use it on a borrowed Android. We have already seen how to get into the Magic Calculator on the spectator's phones, whether it was on an Android or an iPhone. And we've done it by writing the URL address and adding our PIN, that mathematical equation, by hand. There's another way to do it, a different way with this. This is an NFC tag that comes included with a physical license. If you have this and you have a phone that has NFC, that will be an iPhone XS and above, or an Android that comes with an NFC, you will be able to write it down with your own PIN. To be able to write it, you will need an application that writes this tag. Below the writing instructions, After the video, we've left two links where you can download the applications, one for Android and the other one to be able to do it on iPhone. So you can write this tag. In this case, I have an iPhone, and the application that I have is NFC from Nicolo Stanciu. It's an application that can be used to write this down. The first you have to do after downloading the app is to enter Pools, and inside Pools, press the button Copy URL to Clipboard. This will copy an URL and your PIN to the clipboard, and then we open the NFC application. On this case is from iPhone, so I just press plus, I go to Web Link, and inside Web Link we erase this and I paste what I have just copied from the clipboard, and I click Save, and it would leave ready what I need to write this down. Then I need to push here what it says Write NFC. I push the bottom that says Write right now. I move the NFC closer, and then it's written. Once it is done, it is ready to be used. If you have an iPhone, you will have to do exactly the same. You will have to download the application, and you will have to write down the NFC just in the same way. And now I will explain you how to use it. We have already seen how to write this down. Now let's see how to use it. What we first need is to be able to recognize which phone has NFC. And well, there's a huge advantage. Nowadays, all iPhones, the new ones, the ones from the latest years, all those ones that have a square frame around their cameras, all of them have the NFC tag and the NFC reader active all the time. So whenever this gets close, it will read it. Now, how to hide this? Well, this can be hidden in several places. For example, you might have it glued to your clothes, and by doing that, you can hide it. And while borrowing the spectator's phone, we can make a gesture to put it close, and once we put it close, it will activate. And by touching there, the calculator will open. Another way that we can use it will be, or another gesture that we can do, is, for example, if you have something like, well, in this case I have a jacket with a zipper, but if this will be inside my sweater, for example, like this, I could pretend that I'm cleaning the screen, and while cleaning the screen, the tag will be working. Another way to do it could be to have it in the palm of our hand, in between fingers. So let me close this, and by having always unlocked the spectator's phone, while moving towards the front, the NFC will work with our thumb. As it is really close, we touch and it will open. And now we only need to touch here at the screen, we touch here, here, and it's done. The calculator is installed and ready to be used. Some benefits. While opening, the only thing that we need to do is to wait that it changes from white to black, and we don't need to enter our PIN. One downside is to use an Android phone, because it might happen that the Android phone has NFC, and we know that for sure, but it might be turned off, because Android gives you the option to be able to enable or enable the NFC. So in that case, we should slide the menu down, search and turn it on to later be able to activate it. I really hope that this has been really easy for you to understand. We would like to leave you a few tips and advices so you can get the best out of this application. In the event of not having any connection inside the place where you are, one of the options that you have is to always have the application downloaded in your phone, and to get out of this place, open your application, and if you open your application and it connects and it changes from white to black and you minimize it without closing it, although you don't have any connection, and I put now my cell phone on airplane mode, if you open it, it will tell you that you don't have connectivity, but you will always be able to use it. In this case, I have it set to force a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for example 14 times 9, and when I push equal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the calculator is still working. The Magic Calculator works without connectivity. Another tip that we would like to give you is how to erase the evidence from the spectator phone. If you borrowed an spectator's phone to make the effect, there are some things that you should do so that you don't leave any trace left. For example, if you are on iPhone, after you add the icon to the home screen, what you should do is quickly open Safari, touch on this side of the screen, make a double tap, and it will change to Google. It will redirect to Google by itself, the page. And by closing this, you will be able to use the calculator. And after performing the trick that you use on this Magic Calculator, the only thing that you need to do is hold the icon and eliminate the marker. And now you can give back the phone to the spectator without any trace of anything. On Android, the only thing that you need to do, as the calculator doesn't need to have an icon on the home screen, and just by pressing it will go to full screen, you double tap on the corner and it will redirect you to Google, and the only thing that you need to do is to close the browser and you can give back the phone. It is true that when starting to perform the trick, it will be easier to use your phone rather than the spectators, just for confidence. But we would like to give you a tip and advice in how to use it on the spectator's phone, and to be able to do it in front of their noses, how to open the app just in front of them. After borrowing the phone, and you can here ask, if it is an iPhone, something that we recommend is that you ask for the phone and tell the spectator if he can open the calculator. This makes the spectator to know for what we're going to use their phone, and it makes them relaxed about it, because sometimes people has a lot of information inside their phone and it makes them nervous. So to avoid that, they should open the calculator. Once you're given the phone, what you're going to do is, with each of the spectators that are really close to you, the ones that are watching, the ones that can see you type or make any specific move with your fingers, you will ask them, each one of them, to think of a number. And you can even be specific about it. You can ask them to be a 5-digit number or decimal number. So while they're thinking about it, you are creating this misdirection. And at this moment, you can be writing cca.im and entering by this way to the application and to the calculator. And so when you finish doing this, now you can see the calculator and you can use your PIN. And then it connects. And now you can use back those numbers to use it for the trick. For example, if you're going to make a vanish mode, so you can ask the person that thought of the 5 numbers to tell them to you, so you can put it into the calculator and make them disappear. Or just use it to make a calculation and make the forcing. We hope that all these instructions, tips, and advices were helpful, and you can always get in touch with us on support@magicproideas.com, and we hope you really liked it. Thanks a lot.